Law of Attraction Club, and we're on the web at theloaclub.com. On these hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. This hangout is usually the summary of our theme for the week, and today continues on our member conference line. Today's topic is setting up yourself for the big game, life on Earth in 2017. You can receive invites to our open calls, which we offer periodically, and our powerful free letting go process by going to the loaclub.com. You can also follow us on Google Plus and Facebook. So now we are going to welcome Robin, who will be bringing through Tara for us today. So over to the hordes.
Welcome back to our discussions. We're going to continue this week with some different ideas on stepping into a new you. And we'll begin here with these thoughts. You chose this game of life on Earth, and here you are. Mastering the game does not mean retreat from it, just a whole new way of playing it. Enlightenment comes from discovering the meaning of meaningless words. Knowing the truth and practicing the truth are different things. 2017 can be your year. The best time to start practicing is now. So let's go into these thoughts. You chose this game of life on Earth, and here you are. Some of you perhaps balk at us calling it a game because you think that it trivializes something that's holy and sacred and profound, because your experiences here are part of the journey of your soul. And what could be more important and serious than that? Well, we understand. All of that makes sense if you believe you will always exist as the individual consciousness you now know as you, and that your visit here to this external and pre-existing world is just one chapter in that soul journey of yours. But it's not like that at all, you see. What you believe creates you and shapes you. If and when you choose a new belief and line up with that new belief at all levels, it recreates and reshapes you. Then there's this thing we call the law of attraction, though that name doesn't come close to describing its significance. It's the fundamental organizing principle of all conscious energy. And it means that each new shape you choose attracts a mirror matching context. So there is not one shape that's you forever. You exist timelessly in infinite shapes in infinitely different realms. And making a new belief choice steps you into a different one of those versions, which from a time-based perspective you can think of as already existing. Right now, your mirror matching context is a physical you on a physical space-time Earth. You're a thought-created human in a thought-created world, which means changing you and your world is simply a matter of changing your thoughts. The fundamental you behind all of that is a timeless, spaceless consciousness, an inseparable extension of the collective consciousness of Source. And the reason you chose to be here is to experience the joy of making new choices and creating new things in this very focused life on Earth. So yes, we would say it's a game, a very big game, but there's nothing sacred about it. It's a fantastic story, but it's just your current story, and you get to choose where it goes. So what does it mean to be a master at this game? We would say mastering the game does not mean retreat away from it or ascending above it. Our definition of mastery is that it's just a whole new way of playing it. Mastery can be yours. We're inviting you to move beyond a limited understanding of what's possible with the law of attraction. Because if you're stuck at that low level, it makes it difficult to step into the role you came here to play. Inherently within you, you know who you are, and you know the limitless nature of the choices you can make. And if you've scaled back your aspirations in order to, quote, face reality, unquote, then you've turned off your path and you're beating your way through the underbrush. So we're proposing a path to mastery and enlightenment by beginning the process of enrolling your subconscious as an ally in the quest for ongoing, ever-present awareness of the truth of who you are, awareness of the power you have to change anything, and awareness of your connection to Source. These words, ongoing and ever-present, are a nice idea, but they're actually meaningless as long as you're only focusing on this with your conscious mind, because that conscious processor of yours is not capable of handling background tasks at the same time as you're dealing with the minute-by-minute ins and outs of this complex game you've created. That's why enrolling your subconscious is important. Abraham's words on this are very simple. To make a change, make a new decision, and then line up with it. We agree. But once again, these words, line up with it, are meaningless until you understand they're talking about getting your subconscious beliefs in line with your conscious beliefs. It does nothing for you to be consciously affirming, I am rich, if your deep-seated, long-practiced, persistent belief is, money doesn't grow on trees. You simply, quote, know, unquote, in reality, that money is not going to appear out of thin air. And what you, quote unquote, know gets reflected back to you as the mirror matching shape of your world. And we want you to line up with, to know, the truth. Thin air is exactly where money comes from. So knowing the truth and practicing the truth are different things. And it's practice that makes the difference. Practice is the way in which you start to tip the scales in favor of new creation. Think about the last 24 hours of your life. Even if you're making great strides towards this awareness we are speaking of, almost all of that time you just ran on autopilot. And all the time you're doing that, you're unconsciously practicing status quo. Now, we're not suggesting you need equal time. It's just that if you indulge in a little less status quo and a little more who I am thinking, your subconscious starts to get the message. And then watch what happens. Because here's some more words that might have also been formerly meaningless. The better it gets, the better it gets. And as you get on a roll, you begin to discover what those words really mean. And while we're on a roll here, Here's another phrase in that category. It's commandment number 4. Thou shalt not beat up on thyself. And here's an important note on that commandment. By beat up, we don't just mean the dramatic and obvious times you get depressed about your shortcomings. We mean the whole gamut of self-deprecating and self-defeating thoughts, even the slight downward thoughts. Stop that stuff. For example, let's say you commit to listening twice every day to our 6-minute imperturbability affirmations, and then you miss a day. Don't get down on yourself. Or you put the audio on and halfway through you realize your mind was elsewhere. No big deal. Carry on. Maybe let the audio repeat. Sometimes this one has to go through it 3 or 4 times to get all the pieces to register at least once. No big deal. All is well and getting weller. Keep your intentions clear. It doesn't matter that you start the audio and fall asleep. Wake up and carry on. It doesn't matter that you forget who you are for hours on end as you struggle through something. Wake up and carry on. It doesn't matter if your day doesn't flow as you intended. Set a new intention and carry on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters except that you remember what you're moving toward. We're calling it mastery. And it's the place where your world starts to tilt in your favor in miraculous ways. Remember that and wake up and carry on. Don't beat up on yourself because each small step makes a difference. As mastery comes, you discover the meaning of and the immense power within all of these formerly meaningless words. The better it gets, the better it gets. Indeed, it does. 2017 can be your year. The best time to start practicing is now. So let's do some. Get quiet. Get ready. Here we go. Mastery. This is my path to mastery. Practicing with these words and thinking these thoughts is how I truth talk to myself. These simple steps that I take allow me to acknowledge the power that sits within me. And as I practice that knowledge at all levels within me, I put myself on the path to ongoing and ever-present awareness of the truth. This awareness within me is now alive and strong. And each time I do this, it grows stronger and stronger. I treat myself with enormous generosity of spirit. And even as my mind wanders through many different rooms, I return always to this core intention to know myself as I truly am. Everything can change in an instant. And I know that my story changes as soon as I let go of all resistance. Resistance is a part of my old story. This is my new story. I'm a consciousness that is part of the collective consciousness of Source. Source is a river, and I'm a tributary that feeds into and flows from that river. I'm a part of the endless stream that is God. This is the ultimate, absolute truth of who I am. This is fundamentally true about me across all realms in a timeless universe. This is the only thing that I am and can ever be. And yet it is everything. With these words, I acknowledge my connection and my oneness with all that is. I am aware of who I am. I exist as a thought. What I choose to think creates me and my worlds. Everything is as I choose it to be. My desires and intentions and my chosen beliefs and expectations shape the individuation that is me. And the context that surrounds me is a mirror of those beliefs and expectations. I exist as a thought, and everything that exists around me exists as a thought. It is my thoughts that create the physical me in this physical world, with all of its actions and sequences and beginnings and ends and time that marches on. And so even as I acknowledge that I am an action-oriented being in an action-oriented world, I also acknowledge that what shapes my existence is simply my thoughts. I answer to no one. I am not here to serve or learn or to pass some test. I am Source, and I'm here to experience another aspect of myself in this leading edge environment. I'm here to experience the joy of creating new things in this focused space-time world, whatever those things might be. One thing today and perhaps another tomorrow. I follow my heart. I'm here for the fun of it. The choice is mine. Every time I choose a different thought, it makes a difference. Each small choice, each deliberately different thought creates movement in the fabric of my existence. And as I be here and now in this place of playing with new thoughts, I can feel within me that I am now different than I was just a moment ago. Each new thought makes a huge difference. This new thought right now has made a difference. I feel within me the power of that new thought. I see stretching before me a world that is shifted, and I can feel myself emerging into that new version of me and my world. I practice here and now this awareness of me. I am aware. I am aware there's nothing I cannot be, do, or have. I am aware there is nothing I cannot change. I am aware that the practice of these thoughts steps me into a new version of me. I am aware of my power, and that exercising that power takes me to fun and freedom. My new story, my true story, is that I am becoming a master of conscious creation. It's my new, true story, and I'm breathing it into every fiber of my being. Good. So, we have been using words like imperturbability and enlightenment and mastery. And all of these are the same thing in slightly different clothing. And none of them is a yes or no state. There is no yes or no. There is only more or less. As you experience more, you know it. And of course, right along with you, we revel in that knowing and celebrate it. And as you take a step and we stand with you at that new vantage point, we can all see beyond to more again and more again, to more of everything, more peace and power and fun and freedom. What a hoot. So let's move briefly now to a longer discussion, and then we'll be eager to hear your thoughts on the journey together. And of course, we'll answer any questions you may have about anything.
This Hangout on Air was the summary of our theme for the week. We do 3 live calls a week with Q&A for our members on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You too can become a member by going to the loaclub.com/join. So now our longer discussion continues with Q&A on our member conference line.